Today, we're looking at some material based on a really thought-provoking blog post.
Yeah.
The 5-15-50 question, what to do with the urn long-term.
Yeah, it's a great title because it really gets at something many families experience. The decision to keep an urn at home often feels right initially.
Out of comfort, maybe necessity?
Exactly, but it's not usually a one-and-done decision. It's something that tends to evolve as life goes on.
So this 5-15-50 idea is like a roadmap for how that decision changes over time. From, say, immediate comfort to thinking about legacy.
Precisely. It maps out that journey really well.
Okay, let's walk through that. The sources use this timeline. So phase 1, the first 5 years. What's the feeling then? What's the urn doing there, emotionally speaking?
Well, in those first 5 years, it's overwhelmingly about emotion, about comfort. Having the urn physically present offers this tangible connection. It helps ease into the loss.
Right, a way to keep them close while grieving.
Yeah. And the placement is often, special, but maybe not permanent, like a mantelpiece, a bookshelf, a little memorial corner, perhaps.
So it also kind of delays the need for a final permanent choice when things are still raw.
That's a huge part of it. It takes the pressure off making a monumental decision during a really difficult time.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense for the immediate aftermath. But the source suggests things shift. What happens as we move towards, say, 15 years later, phase 2?
Right. Around the 15-year mark, the conversation often changes. Practical things start coming into play much more strongly. Life circumstances are different.
Like what kind of practical things? I'm guessing life changes trigger this?
Absolutely. Big life changes. Maybe you're downsizing, moving to a smaller home where keeping the urn prominently just isn't feasible anymore.
Or maybe health changes.
Yeah.
Concerns about who will care for it.
That too. And another really common trigger is intergenerational. Adult children might now have their own families. They start thinking about a central place for remembrance, somewhere everyone can access.
Ah, so it's not just my home anymore. It's about the wider family.
Exactly. And questions pop up like, how do we keep this safe through future moves? How do we make sure it doesn't become a burden for, the grandkids? The focus shifts from my comfort now to our collective memory and future.
That's a significant shift.
Yeah.
Which leads us perfectly into the final phase mentioned, 50 years on. Here, it sounds like it's almost entirely about the future.
It really is. At 50 years, the perspective is usually long-term legacy. Often, the people involved might not have even known the deceased personally.
Grandchildren, great-grandchildren, maybe.
Right. And the goal becomes creating stability, ensuring that future generations have a connection point to their ancestors without inheriting a difficult decision about the remains themselves.
So establishing a permanent resting place becomes key then. It sort of finalizes things respectfully and takes the burden off descendants.
Precisely. It's presented as a gift, really. A gift of clarity and peace of mind for your own family down the line.
Okay, so let's say a family reaches that point. They decide keeping the urn at home long-term isn't the right fit anymore. What are the main permanent options the sources highlight?
The materials usually focus on 3 established paths for permanent placement. First, there's columbarium placement.
Those are the structures, often at cemeteries or memorial parks, with the niches.
Exactly. Above-ground niches in a secure, often climate-controlled building. It's dignified, accessible for visiting.
Makes sense. What's the second option, more traditional?
Yes. The second is cemetery burial. This is where the urn itself is interred in a burial plot, maybe a family plot. You get that traditional gravesite with a marker or headstone.
Okay. And the third?
A third leans towards a more ecological connection. Nature memorials. This could be a designated scattering garden or perhaps a natural burial ground where the ashes are returned to the earth in a managed, beautiful setting.
So columbarium, cemetery burial, or a nature memorial. It sounds like the guiding idea is balancing what feels right emotionally with what works practically for generations.
That's the core message. It's about finding that balance. And it doesn't have to be, all or nothing.
Oh, you mean like hybrid solutions? I saw mention of keepsake urns. How does that work?
Yeah, hybrid options are really common and often encouraged. A family might choose to place the main portion of the ashes in a permanent spot columbarium, grave, whatever they choose.
But keep a small amount.
Exactly. Keep a tiny portion in a small keepsake urn, or maybe memorial jewelry like a locket. Something very small, personal, easy to manage and pass on. It allows for that tangible closeness without the long-term challenges of a full urn.
I see. So you get both the permanence and a personal connection. Are there other creative options mentioned?
Yes, definitely. Things like memorial reefs, where ashes contribute to creating marine habitats or incorporating ashes into glass art, these turn the remains into something stable, beautiful, and unique. Consulting with memorial professionals can really open up possibilities.
It really sounds like the most important takeaway is that this journey is incredibly personal for each family.
Absolutely, there's no single right answer. It's about finding what honors the loved one and brings the family peace, both now and for the future.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, our listeners. When considering this decision, perhaps think of it less as just an act of remembering someone who has passed,
Mhm.
and more as an intentional gift you're giving, a gift of clarity, of stability, to your own children or grandchildren, maybe 50 years from now, something for them to hold on to, without the weight of deciding what you would have wanted. We'll be back next time with another thought-provoking exploration of a topic that matters.